Hey everybody, welcome to PDQ Live. Today we've got a great show for you. Today we're talking one of my favorite topics, broadly speaking, and that's troubleshooting. Right? So we're going to talk about troubleshooting account lockouts in Active Directory. We're going to talk about the famous Windows blue screen of death or BSODs. But first, the first thing on our docket, right, is connect pre-built groups.
Yeah, it's not new. We just actually haven't talked
It's
about
new
it.
to me.
Yeah, new to me too.
Shiny new things.
So this has been out since
June. Yeah, June.
right?
Exactly.
Okay. If you've been around Connect for a while, you'll have noticed, let's say from the very beginning, groups were not there.
Yeah.
Like pre-built ones weren't there.
No.
And somewhere along the lines, I don't remember the timeline, we introduced like an onboarding kind of assistant thing. They would walk you through and build groups for you automatically based off of software that you chose.
Yes.
Really cool. But that also left like this huge like cohort of people that were like, I'm missing groups. I have to go build them myself. And I thought that's actually kind of what they were until this week.
Yeah. So ours is a little messy, mostly because of you.
Where did my snakes go?
Oh, I promise I didn't touch it. I think
Okay.
it just actually got
Okay. And they're not messy.
I know. They're totally perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
At all. No. So actually, we do want to talk about this. Anyone that is brand new will get these groups added. But if you are not brand new, here's what you can do. You can come down here to create groups and you'll see select pre-built groups. And so look how pretty these are. So let's pretend you wanted to start brand new. You could go, and I kind of want to because I'm this person. You know I'm this person. You could go get rid of all your groups and then start over. But let's just do one.
What are we going to do?
You. Let's just do 7-zip because it's easy to choose.
And it's at the top of the list?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. So we'll pick this one. So hit continue. And then this is what I really love, though. Look at this.
Also groups for Windows Update.
Yep. So I'm going to do one that I know we don't have. Let's do 2022 because we don't have this one.
All right.
So we'll pick software and then we'll pick QM updates for 2022. So then let's continue to review. The cool thing this is going to do to me is it's also going to create automation.
Oh, it's going to build automations that are tied to these groups for updates.
Yes.
That's also really nifty.
I know. Let's make it, and then let's go back and look at the trigger that it sets because you know how picky I am with my trigger. So let's create it.
Boom. Okay, so now we have groups.
Now let's come back and let's just search for 7.
Now, oh, we already had 7-zip. Look,
yes,
we have multiple latest.
We have multiple. So look what it did.
You got 3 of them.
Yes.
That's all right.
That's okay. But you can see it's here. Now let's go look at automation.
But that's like a good thing if you need to modify one.
Yeah.
But you want the default one that's there. You need to bring it back. You can go, add multiples of these things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then here is my 7-zip one, and it's set to recurring. So let's say I wanted it to be automatic. I would need to go in here and change that trigger to be automatic. So just FYI, if you like automatic, you would need to go in and change that.
So it builds the automation, says it recurring, but it also keeps the enabled state as off.
Yes.
Right. So you do have to come in here and turn it on. Like here's that one for 2022.
Right there.
You do got to come in here.
This one. Look at that though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna go back and delete all mine and grab the new ones because I'm that person.
You're gonna go delete all of our mess.
You know I'm going to. Over? You know I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
I love that because I know these ones are all perfect and I like perfect.
Oh, that's a shiny new-ish
yeah
thing.
Exactly.
It's new to me.
Yeah.
It's new to me.
Okay. Next up, it is Andrew's time to shine.
You're saying he's a shiny new thing?
He is. First thing is we're gonna do blue screens of death.
Blue screen of death.
I think I'm prepared. Every time I'm like, I'm going to prepare for this. I know what's coming.
I know.
I just, one of these days.
He does something different.
All right, Andrew, talk to us about the BSOD.
Blue screens suck, okay? If you've been in IT long enough, you've probably ran into them. Hopefully, not often, as we were saying on the pre-show. A lot of times, Josh, like you were saying, you just reboot and you can kind of fix the issues. But sometimes you aren't able to do that. Sometimes you have a lot of a certain kind of model. Maybe there's a release that has a certain bug or some kind of thing, and you need to troubleshoot. That's what we're going to try and empower you with the knowledge of today, introduce you to a couple tools, and just kind of talk about it. But before we dive in, have you guys had any blue screen issues in your life?
Never. No. Yes, of course. Yes.
Yeah.
Constantly.
I actually wish Brock was here because it wasn't that long ago that he was getting a bunch of blue screens on his home machine.
Really? What
Yeah.
were they?
Yeah.
Drivers, video
Nope.
cards.
No.
What?
Nope.
What?
Nope. Keep guessing. No. It was actually failing memory. One of his DIMMs was failing.
How many beeps did he hear?
I don't know. Did you know that a lot of new motherboards don't even have CMOS speakers anymore?
No.
No.
I do, yeah. It's a bummer.
Yeah, you can they have the headers for it. You can buy one if you want. But like generally the diagnostic LEDs are far superior.
You just got to read Morse code now. Flashing lights.
No, because they have like the little it's like an old digital clock. It'll give you like the hex value
Oh, a
of
number.
the yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it'll be
okay.
like fault 6F and it'll be like DRAM.
You're
That's
using nicer
interesting.
hardware than I am, I think, because I have not seen that yet.
Oh no.
But all right, so your thing reboots. You got some issues. We need to look into it. If it happens twice, to me, that's when I actually have to start looking into things. Or if it's somebody important's computer, you got to put in the legwork to make sure you're doing things properly. Where do we look? The first place I like to look is the event viewer. There's a few you want to take note of: 1001, 41, 6008. And if we just quickly run those, we will see that we actually forced a bug check yesterday. Or sorry, we forced a blue screen yesterday. Would you look at that? What are we running here? We're getting a bunch of reboots, like whenever the computer shuts down without cause. And then we're also getting, well, this is kind of
Squiggly.
yeah, what the heck? It like broken half. Oh, wow, that is a little bit odd. But yeah, you get a bunch of information about sort of what happened, when it was shut down, why it was shut down. And we're just grabbing the last 5 because you don't actually need a ton. And you can browse Windows Event Viewer just the same. I kind of like saving things as PowerShell commands because I can just, if I ever have an issue with this, just open up this and just kind of run the commands here and there. This is probably the most helpful one, where you're going to start looking at the Windows error recording crash reports, which gives you a little bit more information, hopefully.
Oh, I didn't know of this. What is Win in it?
Oh, it's like this thing that initializes Windows. It starts services and stuff like that. So it's like super core and critical. If there's any issues with it, Windows will blue screen.
Oh.
Okay, so I got nothing. Interesting. I don't know. It worked earlier.
So he forced the blue screen, which is what we were laughing about during the pre-show, and so that it was actually pretty cool. So he forced that critical error.
Okay, so that's also looking for in the Windows event log and where the reporting or the faulting module is winit.exe.
Yep, and so it pulled that event saying this is what
Got
caused that criticality.
Got it. Okay.
It knew the exact executable.
And so like that winit is going to be if like it's a operating system component that's faulting. You're going to get stuff there. Do you get stuff there if it's like a driver fault or hardware fault?
I'm honestly not sure. I didn't know about WinInit until recently whenever I used it to crash Windows.
Oh.
So I'm not too sure about the edge cases on those.
Well, that's really cool.
But the good thing is there's a dump file that is created, .dmp. Call it a dump file. And there's great tools that you can use. There's obviously this stuff, which is the equivalent of like, hey, have you tried rebooting it? You know what I mean? Anytime you get an issue, just run them. Say you did it. So whenever anybody asks, you said yes, and here's the output.
It's like have you seen a Microsoft forum like ask in the last 30 years? That's like
Right.
the first recommended thing. SFCCI.
And that's the
now.
only response.
Yeah.
And then you respond and it's just later. Before we dive too deep into WinDbg, because it looks confusing, it's kind of like one of those more advanced tools where
Yeah.
there's going to be a lot of noise and what you're looking for is kind of slim. There's this PerfMon thing, which I think is a better view than looking at event logs. If you like this, just look at Performance Monitor. You can see when there's Windows failures, get some information about it, and sort of narrow down what's going on in a machine. This view is also nice if you're like remoted and helping somebody who's having issues on their computer. They get to see it, they get to talk about it. You kind of validate what they're going through, and they kind of trust you more. I don't know, it's a little detail, but if you're in the customer service kind of role like that, it definitely helps to do that kind of thing.
And it kind of helps to like correlate like if it's a user initiated thing, they can maybe help tell you what they were doing. right? So that visual representation.
And I think that's a theme for some troubleshooting. It's like you can do a lot programmatically, but there's a lot of time that can be saved if you just talk to the person and you ask them, like, what software are you running every day? Have you changed your workflow recently? Have there been any updates? Same thing goes for the AD lockout stuff we're going to talk about. If someone's getting locked out all the time, understand their workflow and what programs they're using. You can look all day, but you can save a ton of time just talking.
Yep.
Let's get into that nerdy stuff, though. Okay.
I like the nerdy stuff.
Me too. WinDbg, what the heck?
I didn't touch anything.
It's supposed to happen like this. I don't know why there was another WinDbg open. Let us start it from scratch so I can show you what it would look like. You can install this. You can search it. We have it open. Just WinDbg. It's from Microsoft. You can get it through a bunch of different mechanisms. I just downloaded it and ran it locally. Okay. You get this thing and dude, little not that helpful, we'll say. Not the best customer
A
experience.
lot not that helpful.
But a debuggy? I love that. What's a debuggy? I want to ride on one. Hopefully there's like 3 horses. I'd be all over that. But what are we trying to
this
do?
is giving some serious Windows Vista vibes.
I know it does, right? It
Look
looks
at this.
old.
Look at that. Maybe Windows 8.
Open
Okay.
dump file.
Yeah.
All right, it's a .dmp, and this is where they're going to go. There's also a mini dump file that may be applicable to you in certain instances, but I've pretty much only gone to memory.dmp. Oh no!
Of course.
Ooh,
Of course.
access to the
Okay.
path is
But
denied.
anyone that's ever worked with a manufacturer, right, and you're working on a warranty case, and they're like, "Yeah, I need the memory file." You're like, just come fix the machine. Well, this is what they're reading, right? This is some sort of process similar to what he's doing right now. It's exactly
Yeah.
what they're doing.
Yeah.
To try to fix your machine.
Yeah.
Is they're reading this dump file.
They are.
Some
And
similar
I think
thing.
a good call out here is like what just happened is like the location of this memory dump is C Windows is a protected file.
Yeah,
So yes,
exactly.
launch as administrator.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep. So we launched it as admin, and we call it a dump file and a memory dump file because it's literally everything in memory dumped is my impression of it. So you can kind of go back in time and see what the heck happened. That's why it looks like all programmy and crazy, like this kind of stuff. So we open it up. We see nothing super helpful yet, but we see this recommendation, analyze-v. All right. We call this a bang.
Bang. Bada bang.
I always call my boss would say that. I was like, dude, you're like, what are you saying? You call this bang dash V. Let's see. It adds a whole ton of stuff. Boom, boom, boom.
Nice. Okay.
And now in this day and age, honestly, I'd copy and paste this whole thing and send it to AI.
Absolutely.
Probably. I mean, I think there's some string that they typically use. It's like possibly or could be to kind of give you some ideas of what could be causing it. Let's see. Yeah, here's the error code. You can look this up online. Great thing to do. You can see what caused it, when in it. This is the critical process. So from there, you can start digging in more and figuring out what the heck's going on.
Yeah.
But that is sort of the basics.
Yeah. Oftentimes that won't be like an executable. That might be like a DLL.
Yeah.
Right. And then you have to go back and you have to chase down, okay, what driver is this that is that faulting DLL? Because it would kill a hardware manufacturer to name a driver in a way that's human readable.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's at this point, I think they do it just because they're funny.
They do it just to annoy you.
Yeah. Like, have you ever looked at the actual name of a printer DLL? It might as it's like a cat walked across the keyboard .dll.
Cat walked across the keyboard.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that is like super helpful if you're stuck in like a blue screen of death situation.
Yeah, that one it pulled the exact thing that happened to blue screen this machine. So this one was a great example.
Yeah.
It might not always be this straightforward, but in this case, it was perfect.
Love it. Alrighty. Andrew, are we going to move on? Are we going to talk about Active Directory next?
I think we are.
All
It's
right.
troubleshooting day, man.
Yeah. So let's talk about something else that's like wildly frustrating. Active Directory account lockouts.
Yeah. You've been in IT for a long time. You've dealt with them in some capacity. If you're dealing with a new environment, you have a lot more things to consider, but probably you've been in a place for a while. There's already password policy that's been established. You get a couple of tries. If you get it wrong enough times, you'll get locked out. And if that happens to you, maybe you can unlock yourself, but it happens to users. That's a problem that you need to fix. And the goal of this little segment here is to give you some ideas on how you could go about that. Because
You
it's
mean-
not that hard.
I mean, you mean I don't just rename the user first name dot last name too,
Oh my God. Oh my, you are killing me.
and disable the account that's getting locked out? Like that's not a viable solution.
You totally would do that. I know you would do that.
I haven't seen that one actually in the wild, but I've absolutely seen people just do the, there's like some checkbox or some property you can set where it's like, it never expires or you can't lock it out or something like that.
Yeah.
I've seen that on DA accounts set multiple times.
Oh,
time,
that makes my stomach hurt.
Well, you gotta know, back in the day, everyone had DA. Now security is a thing, but like 8-10 years ago, it was just, oh, you know how to use a computer? Here's DA.
Account doesn't lock out. DA password spray. Let's go.
Yep.
Jeez Louise. All right, let's see how we actually do this for real.
Okay, so what's the situation? You have a user, they're on some computer somewhere, they're trying to do something, and if they try and log on with a bad password enough times based on your policy, they're going to get locked out. So what does that mean? Like a lot of things in Windows, that means there's event logs. There's events that get triggered. We're dealing with DCs because we're doing logons, so we're going to have to look there a little bit. For our little example here, Tara, this guy's not locked out right now, is he?
Oh, no. Well, so
That's
first,
okay.
let's maybe paint the picture really quick. Let's lock them out. So why would we want to know if a user's locked out? Let's chat about that quickly.
They can't work.
Well,
They'll
yeah.
let you know.
Yeah, and like so maybe some common situations in which like you'll get a user into this, right? So the most often that I have seen this is actually a mapped drive.
Yep.
Okay, so a user will create a mapped drive, and then they will also then change their password.
Yep.
Right, and then they don't change it in the map drive. Like they've maybe set it as a different user or a
They're
different
gonna
context.
Yep.
So it just keeps hitting over and over and over and over and over again as Windows is like
Yeah.
service, right? So that's the most common place
Printer,
that I've
map
seen.
drive. But also, you could be dealing with a security situation too. So there's there's a different,
You could be
different
right.
situations.
All right. Okay. Now
Andrew,
we've
he's locked.
successfully locked out Mr. Montana.
Joey.
Yep.
Have we?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll find out here. All right, so we got a username. You can make this whatever you want. These commands are good to know, obviously. Get AD user. Hopefully
Yeah.
you're using that. If not, one thing to keep note of is we're adding additional properties. It doesn't return everything by default. This stuff is an AD, but AD is very big. It's not going to show you everything unless you specify it. So we'll just specify some stuff. Hopefully this works.
Boom.
Boom. But actually, I wanted to do this a different way first. So pretend it didn't work. Okay, so in your environment, you might have multiple DCs, right? And people will log into different DCs.
hmm
And not all properties are, replicated between DCs. For example, this is checking a different server that you did not get locked out on. It still reports that you're locked out because that is shared between all DCs. But the last bad password attempt was in 2024, which isn't right. But that's just according to that one DC. So you can specify the DC that you want to ask. But down here on line 15, I have a way to identify your PDC emulator if you don't know. And that's like the primary one that you want to be dealing with here. Run that. And that's our PDC.
So if you're not super comfortable in PowerShell, you can run this with the net DOM as an executable, like traditional, like Windows command line. And the command is net DOM query FSMO. FSMO.
We have some issues we discovered this week that maybe we'll fix next week on our show, Josh.
And like right now it looks like DC2 is holding all of the FSMO roles. Plus, in your environment, depending on size, complexity, what may have happened, these can be on different DCs, right? So just keep that in mind.
Absolutely. Yep. That's the kind of quirk. I've seen people, like what we're going for ultimately, we're just looking for event logs. We're just trying to see what's happening. And if you don't look in the right spot, it can kind of make you feel like looking for the logs isn't right, but it is right. You just got to look at the specific correct logs. This was Tara's idea right here.
Well, so let me explain this. So we were working on this and I said, well, Andrew, I won't know the user that's locked out typically. I want to schedule this. I want to know all the users that are locked out in my environment. And I want you to write me a script that I can run and it will retrieve the result and tell me who's locked out if I'm facing a security concern, perhaps, or if I have the same dummies locking themselves out each and every week. I want to procure a list. That's what I'm going to go for if I'm an IT manager in my environment.
Yeah, ideally you'll have some other logging that'll be tracking that also, but it doesn't hurt to have those commands
Yeah.
right at your fingertips.
Yeah, I like the comment here. Be careful in big environments.
Oh yeah, for sure. For
Oh
sure.
yeah. There's probably a more elegant way of doing this, but she asked for it kind of last minute.
Yeah,
So.
and like when we say huge, like we're thousands of users when we're talking huge.
Yeah.
Like if your, AD Forest is 5, 6, 7, 800 less users, you'll be just fine.
Yeah.
Unless you're running your DC on like a potato, you'll be fine.
Well, I would actually be more concerned about external computers locking out these accounts.
Sure.
More so than people inside my
Yeah.
domain. That would be my concern here. Sorry, go ahead, Andrew.
That's a good question. That's a good point. And it is good to know what computer's locking it out. If it's the person's normal computer, a little bit less of a concern.
Sure.
If it's a weird DC that they're trying to log into, they shouldn't be. That's a security situation you should definitely be aware of, which is why being familiar with where to look in your environment for security stuff is so critical. Because I know I've been in those shoes before where you're just kind of going along. You have no clue how anything is set. You have no clue what events are going off. Getting visibility is so key, and being able to feel confident and somewhat secure.
Yeah. And being comfortable in Active Directory and how Active Directory works, because Active Directory for so many admins is just the black box. Specifically how replication works, where to look for information, how updated is that information, what does and like some of the attributes in Active Directory are named in such a way that you think you know what they mean, but they're not actually the last thing. Like last logon in Active Directory is not actually an attribute of a user.
Yeah, we figured that out this morning.
That is a computer logon attribute. That is the computer authenticating, not a user authenticating. So you can get yourself down a rabbit hole and be like, oh, this was a nothing burger.
How many people do you think inherited their Active Directory environment and actually don't understand how it was set up? I think
I think a majority.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
It's such a big project to change GPOs that I feel like unless it's your job specifically, it's one of those things that's kind of hard and feels like uphill, like you're kind of swimming upstream to do in a lot of orgs. But all right, we got some other stuff. You kind of basically talked about this. You were like, get information about all the DCs. The other command we ran kind of gives you some ideas about the different DCs you have if you don't know your environment, which hopefully you do. Hopefully you have good documentation that's accurate on some of this stuff, especially where the PDC is concerned.
Yeah. Well, there's even stuff just like it came up with like default first site name. Just came up here. There's a lot of people don't understand like the replication and the link speed and relation between sites and Active Directory sites and services. Like how many people have actually fired up Active Directory sites and services and done anything there? Probably very few, especially in a smaller org. But that becomes important when you have multiple subnets involved or a larger org, or you're trying to extend that. Then that becomes important.
Yeah.
Especially when trying to track down like user lockout stuff.
We should cover that.
Yeah.
Oh, CM does.
Yeah.
CM, let's chat. Let's do it.
Awesome. This right here, we'll just quickly query your password policy just a little bit.
Yeah,
but this is the juicy stuff. Go ahead,
password
Tara.
policy, like I just said it this morning. We can't mess around now. So how many times am I going to lock myself out now?
Yeah, you set it low. 3 is a little on the aggressive.
Well, I had to because we had to get it working.
Yeah. No, I get it. I gave you about 5-minute notice. Hey, can you set up this whole new policy from scratch?
That's plenty of time.
Yeah, that's fine.
Ooh, I want to run this script that eats the RAM.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, okay.
Let's break it live.
Okay. I just made a quick note because say you have a big environment, there's something going on. You need to make sure that you have this auditing configured. Also, your security log needs to be big enough. It's probably not going to get filled super quick. You might want to extend that for a little bit if you're not able to catch the events in time. I don't know. It's just there for you. The warning I have, though, is it will just go to your RAM. So you can't increase it a ton. It's just going to take your RAM. Be reasonable. Be smart.
Sorry.
Don't break your
I'm just looking at CM's comment of
too.
164
I was like,
DCs.
what?
And like, have I had like some heart palpitations?
I did
16 is
too.
still a lot, but
Dang.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Andrew. Woo.
Oh, it was 16, not 116.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that threw me off.
I was like, I want to talk. We can be Active Directory friends.
All right, we got some stuff here. We're going to run a command on the PDC emulator, so the main DC we're trying to work with. It's going to query the event log, security logs 4740. That's the go-to for us here. Check in the last day, and then we're going to do some little bit of PowerShell magic to get the computer that's got locked out from, the target user, the DC it happened on, all that groovy stuff. And let's give it a shot. I had to play around with this one a few times.
That's pretty nifty.
Hopefully it works. That'd be niftier.
That's-
Hey!
Yeah, there it is.
So we got a couple locked out users here, or a couple events that would indicate that. As you can see,
Yeah.
8:04 a.m. is quite a while ago.
Oh, so you can see that, yeah, that Tara here on our machine, Kim Wexler, locked out Joe Montana, trying to get to sit
lot
at
of
Toast
times.
Crunch. Yeah, look at that.
At us. And that's just code you can have anytime you need to troubleshoot this kind of stuff. Hopefully you have an easy situation where you identified the computer. That's kind of like the easiest part, I think. From here, finding out the actual cred that is causing you issues can be easy, but it also could be kind of tricky. We'll come back to this in a second. I want to show Credential Manager. Do you remember the like MSC way of opening it?
No,
Credential Manager, just typing in Credential Manager.
I don't remember the shortcut.
Yeah, that worked. This is where, as soon as I discovered this, I was like, oh crap. It was a big eye-opening moment for me in my career because I realized everything that happens in Windows, it's stored somewhere. You just need to know where that is.
Yep.
And that goes for credentials. Almost every single time I'd fix an issue with lockouts, it would be in here somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
I would just go through it. If anything has a slash in it, you got to be super careful. If it's like a share, very be careful with that as
Yep.
well.
I will say that these in here, if can be dumped very, very easily. If someone has administrative access to a machine, you can dump anything stored in Windows creds in about 10 seconds. So just as a word of caution.
Dump them all. Let's see what happens. We're live.
Uh,
Let's do it.
It doesn't. By
Yeah, there's nothing in there.
default
Yeah, we can
show
reset
the
it all pretty
password.
quick. Let's go. Yeah.
But you can decrypt the password very easy because I think the idea is that the way it's encrypted is if you are that user, you should have access to the password. So if you're able to, run as you're saying, you're in bad trouble. All these creds are gone.
Yep.
But I won't run actually this, but it will show you all the credentials. And if you want to remove one, you could remove it just like that. If you want to do it programmatically, hopefully you're not doing this so much. I'd probably recommend connecting if you're only doing this once a year,
Mm-hmm.
just so you can actually know what you're doing. There's that. There's also, so you've removed all that. I don't know if there's any other instances where things wouldn't be covered in Credential Manager. Can you think of any? Maybe there's standalone apps that store a cred differently and don't use the DP API.
Yeah, there's probably a bunch of stuff that you have configured as LDAP as the identity provider. If they're not using DP API, they're using their own like implementation. Then yeah, it could be literally anything that you configure there. I've seen stuff from like homegrown intranet that is like employee specific access that relies on AD. Like those are like usually prime for causing AD lockouts.
Yep. I think if you can't find it in the Credential Manager, check the programs they have installed.
Yeah.
Maybe it's somewhere in there. And if they have anything unstandard, just remove it and see if they keep getting locked out.
Yep.
Those are annoying tickets to deal with, but hopefully you have some idea. That was a whole bunch of PowerShell. You can just use Event Viewer if you want to. And there's a cool tool from Microsoft if you just want to quickly visualize it. And I'm not going to lie, I've used this a ton and I'm comfortable with PowerShell. It's just nice. You select a target. It's the AD Lockout tools.
Yep.
Enter a username, press OK. It's going to query your DCs and get that information for you.
Yeah.
Same stuff we got. It's using the exact same method.
Yeah, it's probably using the exact same Win APIs that all the PowerShell is, but it's a fun little GUI.
Yeah, you don't have to build the GUI. You just click a couple buttons. You're probably only dealing with one user. It should meet your needs.
Yep.
But that's all I got.
Cool. Andrew, that was fantastic. This was like the Andrew show.
It was.
While we just kind of sit from the peanut gallery and poke fun.
I really enjoyed this role.
Yeah, it's fun, right?
Yeah, it is fun.
It is fun.
I like showing up like
It's a
this.
good Thursday. All right. Thanks, everybody. This was a ton of fun today. Hope to see you here next week for PDQ. I'm Josh.
I'm Tara.
That's Andrew over there, just kind of hanging out, relaxing. Thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. Do us a couple favors, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Our bosses love to see when that happens. And do yourself a favor and join us on Discord, because that's actually where a lot of fun happens, and Andrew hangs out there, as does Tara. Josh, not so much. All right, have a fantastic week. We'll see you back here next time.